What's going on, family? It's FOMO Ghost, and it's been a while since I posted on this page. This page has been dedicated to uh, all things ICP, not to be confused with the Insane Clown Posse. Um, I'm speaking on the Internet Computer and Definity, the Definity Foundation as an organization and as an ongoing project. I know there's a lot of YouTubers who have been making content on ICP, particularly after October of last year when the pump started. And, people see something that starts moving and they jump on the train. And, you know, welcome aboard. By no means am I jumping off. Um, I'm still very much confident on the future of ICP, and as I'm confident in Definity as an organization as a whole, for the foreseeable future. I don't see any reason why it won't continue. But I will tell you guys that I've had quite the experience with ICP. Um, my first time investing in ICP was shortly after its launch. Um, I was a little bit off on my timeline. I probably hopped in too early, you know. Um, got a little too excited because I saw what it was, and nothing has changed. The technology hasn't changed. The future of ICP hasn't changed. And I still think this is an incredible opportunity for young investors such as yourself who's watching this video, because if you're searching for ICP videos online, that means you have an eye. But we are all human beings and we are all, um, you know, susceptible to emotional swings of, you know, whether it be confidence or, despair. Everyone has a different situation. Everyone has a different, financial situation. I don't want to, ramble on too long, but I felt it was time for me to go ahead and make a video. And you guys can look at the history on my channel. You can see that I haven't posted in a couple of years, but I felt the need to make a video because there's nothing to be concerned about. This was a short term distribution phase for ICP. And you have to look at the overall climate that we're in right now, politically, socioeconomically, the environment globally. I think ICP is not necessarily attached to any, specific nation. The U.S. economy could take a shit. ICP is going to follow Bitcoin, and I'm still bullish on Bitcoin long term. But there's a market correction that has to happen because the market is completely over inflated, it's overheated. And right now, we're dealing with a lot of elites who are in denial. But there's one thing that never lies, and that's the charts. Okay, so let me just go ahead and pull this up really quick, and just show you guys what I saw. And I'll be honest, I didn't. Oh, my bad. I didn't see it until that first pullback. I was targeting to buy ICP at around $2 based on the RSI chart here. I've been watching this since back here, and I knew that I should have hopped in here when it hit the bottom of this trend line. Now this could be moved around, or it could shift a little bit. Now you might say, "Hey Moses, well, wouldn't that mean that you should jump in right now because it should find support on this bottom trend line?" That's possible. I'm not a, I'm not a psychic. I don't know. Every all of us are making our best, educated guess. But even if there's a short-term bounce right now, this is still not the bottom because, like all altcoins, they're going to follow Bitcoin, and Bitcoin has an appointment with fate. When BlackRock and these people hopped into Bitcoin, all they did was pump the asset, and they got in around probably around 20,000, maybe even 30. They doubled up, a little bit more than double, and they've been distributing this whole time. But at the end of the day, Bitcoin is a risk on asset, and it still has no real world use case aside from a store of value. Okay, now we've been through this before, people. We saw the COVID rally, the dump, the secondary rally, the dump, and then we saw the pump that started in October of 23, which made absolutely no sense because inflation remained high, interest rates remain high, the cost of living remains high. The elites, they don't live in reality. Okay? They don't live in reality. They don't go shopping at Kroger. They don't go shopping at Publix. They don't go shopping even at Whole Foods. They don't know what inflation really is because they don't feel it. Okay? And the political class that we have in office right now, and it is both parties, they've been really just playing the long game, inflating assets, and they've just been focused on maintaining, the high property values, the housing values. There's a big crash coming in the housing market. It already started. Um, Once companies really start laying off people, everything is going to, come to a halt. And we saw this play out in 2008. But it comes to a point where they can't continue to play the game because they can only squeeze the public but so much before, the pitchforks come out, and we start when the guillotines come out and revolution really starts. They have us rocked to sleep, and they've been playing the retail investors for a while now. A lot of people made money back here, a lot of people lost money back here, but it's not time yet. The reset still has not happened. The great reset has still not happened. Everybody's talking about the dollar is losing its status as the world reserve currency. That's all great. That will take 10 years to play out because you can't just flip a switch and replace the world reserve currency, and it takes a long time for people to lose faith in the US dollar. Now, with Joe Biden at the helm, that could actually be, um, you know, it could be accelerated quite a bit, but Joe Biden's on his way out. Now, what I'm anticipating, because we're in a very high inflationary environment, similar to the late 70s when uh, I believe Carter was the president. We had Richard Nixon, who's been maligned, and he's been he, he has a bad fame, but Richard Nixon was pretty smart. He kind of knew what he was doing. to a degree, and his crimes, really don't even match up to some of the stuff that's going on today. But in that environment, that allowed a weak president to come in, Carter, and Biden is essentially the new Carter. And what I'm expecting in November is a landslide victory for Donald Trump. The markets are still going to collapse. They have to, because the average everyday American can't afford to buy a house anymore. We can barely afford rent. We can barely afford the cost of living. And you can't play a game unless you have a base of people to steal from. Unfortunately, that's what it is. So this thing has to come back. It has to come back, right? So I said all that to say this. I know a lot of y'all are Bitcoin maxis and Bitcoin to the moon. Unfortunately, if you want $1 million Bitcoin next year, that'd be great. For the few people who own a whole Bitcoin. But for the vast majority of people, they're not going to be able to afford the $50 gallon of milk. Okay? Everything will come to a screeching halt. That's the disconnect that a lot of investors don't realize, that, the everyday public has to function. Okay? Now, looking at I look at ICP like, you know, I know their end goal is not really to help humanity, it's really to control the people even more. And they're going to be successful in their endeavor. All of this might even play out until probably 2035, when the actual global economy really, really takes a shit. And we might have a real revolution. But for right now, everything is still, you know, uh, status quo. I don't really see any changes. But when I was waiting for the $2 price point. It didn't hit $2. It hit $2.80. Now I'm an idiot for not dollar cost averaging. You know, and maybe I should even listen to my own words right now and start accumulating. Even at the $6.40 price, I've been waiting to get below five. I've overshot at the bottom before, but I know that Bitcoin has to take a nasty dump. The traditional markets still have to take a nasty dump. Let's take a look at the Dow. The Dow, it's ridiculous. We're basically like right before the damn the fucking right before the damn Great Depression, bro. It has to come back to this trend line, man. It has to. 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 Damn it. No, I'm sorry. It has to come back to the trend line. I'm sorry. I hate to break y'all's hearts. It is what it is. Okay. If it doesn't bounce off of this 24,000 trend line, then it might be a bloodbath, like really nasty. And in that case, then I just hope you guys have enough bullets. But I don't think it makes it that far down. It does need a hell of a correction, though. Okay, it needs a hell of a correction. And when that happens, Bitcoin is going to dump, gold is going to dump, everything is going to dump, including ICP. ICP might be at 50 cents. We don't know. We don't fucking know. So, this is not financial advice, but, this thing has a correction that needs to happen. And the only reason why it was continuing to go up was because of the 0% interest rates. Inflation went so crazy after the damn COVID pump, which was just printing $7 trillion of funny money, that inflation went out of control. So everybody was like, if you were invested, you were like, oh, man, I'm rich. That's great. That's awesome. It's not, bro. It's not, because you can't play the game if everybody else can't play the game, because eventually, the goons are going to come out and somebody's going to just either steal your basketball, okay? Like if you're playing on the court and you're kicking everyone's ass, somebody's going to get mad and shoot the basketball. That's what's going to happen. If you're, I don't know, if you're playing a video game and you keep on beating your friend's ass and like you're the only guy in the room and you're whooping everybody, somebody's going to kick the damn console over and just reset the whole shit, and that's what's going to happen. It's going to come down. It has to come down. It has to come down. This is a cycle. So now with ICP is still tied in with the World Economic Forum. They're still well funded. They still have a great developer team, a great product. It's beautiful. But when I noticed, I said, "This is what is this? This is the preliminary supply." Okay, this pump right here. Okay, and then you have the buying climax, right? Is this the buying climax here? I believe this is the buying climax. So this might be wrong. I believe this is the buying climax. And then you have the automatic rally, which is another pump. And then you have the second test down here. Okay. And then you have an upthrust. All right. And then you have a minor sign of weakness right here. Everything just lines up perfectly. This is crazy. Dude, I freaking drew this damn, schematic out back here. And all I've had to do is just adjust the little points. And now we are in the last point of supply. And I believe the last point of supply was back here at $12. And right now we're just dumping. Okay, we're dumping. And that's cool, that's beautiful, because that's going to allow you guys who are smart enough to see what's going on to accumulate more. If you hopped in too early, welcome to crypto. It is what it is, okay? But you will see the rewards for your efforts. You just have to be patient. And this thing is going to fall off a cliff. The last time we saw a Wyckoff distribution like this, okay, was with Bitcoin back during the damn COVID rally. But what we didn't expect after this, and this lines up beautifully right here. Look at this. This is straight Wyckoff right here. What I didn't expect was this fucking rally right here. I didn't expect Biden to be such a goddamn criminal. Like, this guy is crazy, man. And now he's senile and crazy. And he's being manipulated by his handlers. Now it's elder abuse. The guy is completely senile. But this is the same play. Okay, this was the upthrust after distribution. And then you had the last point of supply, and then a dump, and then a precipitous dump. Now, this dump, if we go back to the damn Great Depression, it might take 5 years for this thing to bottom out, which is still beautiful. I'm not mad at it. It's okay. Have a long view. But this thing is done. This is done. If inflation was at 2% right now, and the economy wasn't about to crash, then I would say Bitcoin has a lot of upside right now. Unfortunately, Bitcoin is still going to be tied to the traditional markets, and it's just the Dow, the goddamn you know the S&P, Nvidia is still overheated. This shit really don't do nothing. Nvidia, what the fuck is this? This is ridiculous. It's a joke. It's a bubble. It's nasty. And when all of these big fucking whales start selling, it's gonna be a Black Monday, bro. And it's just gonna rah, and everybody gonna be looking stupid as hell. It's okay. That's how you learn. You need to feel pain to learn. Trust me, I felt the pain because I was so damn bullish on Trump in 2020 that when Biden won, I was like, ain't no way in hell. But all Biden did was he got in office and he turned on the fucking money printer, bro. Then, Powell had all of the green light to do whatever the fuck he had to do just to stretch this out. And if you really want to look at it like that, this has just been, what is this? This is Dow, what is this, Dow Transportation? This has just been like a long distribution phase of some bullshit, bro. They just got to get the damn. They got to get the damn. No, this is a DXY. They got to get the damn. They got to get the assets off, man. They got to slow sell it to the idiots. This is just. Come on. If you really want to look at it, this might even be just an upthrust after distribution. We probably got to dump, and then we'll have the last point of supply right here, and then that last dump. It got to happen. Because if not, our kids won't have a future. The Great Depression was probably the best thing that happened to the West in the last 100 years. The Great Depression was beautiful. Anyone who was prepared for it did well. Anyone who was believing in the hype got fucked. You always need an idiot. There's an ass for every seat. So don't lose hope in ICP. Nothing has changed, but this is an opportunity for those of us who slept in October. I started buying at $8, made a little money. I sold probably at like 16, bought back in at 11, lost some money. I said, no, 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 my bad. I'm getting emotional. And I sold everything. So I probably even just ended up even. But this is the opportunity. Anyone holding cash is going to be in a good position in this upcoming crash. So just keep that in mind. Don't lose hope. But you can't change the macroeconomic situation. Okay? This is still the future. It's still the future. But this was a Wyckoff distribution, okay, at $3 all the way up to $21. That's a crazy fucking flip for anybody who was involved. And now they're selling off. It is what it is. Will it go down back to $3? I don't know. I'm hopping in at 5, and I might lose some money because the shit might go to 50 cents. I don't know. But I don't care, okay? I'm just going to gather my chips and build my pie, okay? So y'all take care. Be safe. It's your boy, FOMO Ghost.